Good morning. Please forgive the jostling and the breathing. I'm out on my walk this morning, and I'll just be honest. My heart is just really heavy, as I'm sure many of you can relate to. And I just thought, for what it's worth, I would share what I'm doing right now to find peace in my soul. And that really boils down to focusing on both the transcendent and the imminent. Primarily the transcendent, because it is the bigger picture. It's God's meta-narrative, the hope and the beauty of the fact that He says He will one day wipe away every tear from our eyes. That's transcendent. That's beautiful. Jesus went to the cross suffering a brutal death, and at the same time was fixed upon the joy that was set before Him, which is a transcendent joy. It is a joy anchored in heaven. It is a joy anchored in God's big redemptive plan. His plan to redeem broken and fallen people and to restore and recreate the earth according to His primary blueprints, the way it's meant to be. The transcendent also includes Jesus's commands to love God with all my heart, soul, mind, and strength, and my neighbor. And it also defines love, which always includes speaking truth. And it also involves the imminent, which is things like voting for things I believe are best for my neighbor and doing things that help my neighbor. And of course, our neighbor is everyone. So I am praying for wisdom to know what to do in the imminent. Obviously, we have experienced a major trauma, a tragedy that has got us all, or we should all be self-reflecting and asking God for wisdom, which His word in James says that we can ask for wisdom and He will give it. So I'm praying for wisdom. Wisdom to know what to do, when to do it, if to do it. Wisdom to know what to say, when to say, if to say. Action things. Praying for wisdom. I have seen an example of boldness that is inspiring and convicting. Praying for wisdom to know what to do with that, where to be bold, how to be bold. And also praying that it would all be filtered through love, God's love. Help me to love my neighbor so much that I'm bold. Help me be bold because I love people. Not because I want to be right, but because I want people to have a relationship with you, Lord. Because I want everyone to be reconciled to you. And that is our primary ministry. We are ministers as Christians, speaking to Christians. We are ministers of reconciliation. We are ambassadors of Christ. All martyrs of all times are ambassadors for Christ. And therefore, my prayer, and I'm going uphill, forgive the heavy breathing and the sweat. I just looked at myself. Our prayer is, Father, be glorified. Help us to live as your glorifiers, your image bearers in very dark days. At the same time, understanding that nothing is new under the sun. Everything feels new, and then again, nothing is new. Jesus is the same yesterday, today, and forever. Evil has been the same yesterday, but not forever. And that gives me hope. The church will not be defeated. The gospel is always truth in life. And therefore, our hope is not shaken. My hope is not shaken. Today I pray that people who have gone to church for the first time are going to a biblical church. Going to church for going to church's sake in these days isn't necessarily a positive. I pray that people don't find their way to unbiblical churches. I'm glad people are reading their Bibles, but I pray that somebody in their life is going to teach them how to read it well. I pray that God will give those of us who know how to read our Bibles and who know what a biblical church looks like, will have our eyes open to reach out and pull those people under our wings and love on them. Everyone is hurting. I think even the most vitriolic, evil people we see, when we know they're broken, we may not be able to touch them with the love of Christ. Their conscience may be so seared, but that is up to Jesus. We are just to be ministers of reconciliation. So I feel like I may be rambling now, but I just wanted to say, if your heart is troubled, you're not alone. We can read God's promises. They are true. There is plentiful evidence that Jesus rose from the grave. And therefore, even in these trying times that are really, truly, the world around us is experiencing this every day. But in American soil, we have been very, very blessed with a semblance of security. And now we've been shaken. But the things that can't be shaken remain, and they will forever. So, for what it's worth, I'm sure I rambled and I'm still processing. Please know, I'm still processing a lot. But I know I can anchor my hope in the transcendent while I ask for wisdom on what to do in the imminent. And I can always ask that Jesus would so saturate me with his unconditional love for me that it can pour out of me onto a hurting world around me. And that is my prayer. God bless you all. Be of good courage. Be willing and ready, especially to love God with all your heart, with all your soul, and with all your mind.